another episode of In the Bed with Babs. Oh my goodness, I was knocked out there. Did you guys hear me snoring? Don't tell anybody, especially don't tell the dude that I'm trying to, date. Listen, we got a very special episode for you today. I interviewed the legendary Tisha Campbell. You know Tisha Campbell, right? Tisha Campbell from Martin, My Wife and Kids, School Days, Little Shop of Horrors, Broadway. The list goes on and on. This was my first big interview. I've never interviewed an actress before, like a real TV and movie star. She dropped a bunch of gems. We got into the Martin show and other things about Hollyweird. Her famous saying is, I'm Hollywood, but I'm not Hollyweird. Well, why don't you sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the interview. I'd also like some feedback. This was my first big one again, so let me know what I can change or do better. babs@wow941.com. Make sure you email me. And real quick, I'm sitting like this because I'm naked under the covers. It's Florida. Everyone sleeps naked in Florida. Maybe I'll show you when we come back from the interview. Enjoy! I'm going back to sleep.
In the Bed with Babs.
Wow 94.1, it is Babs, In the Bed with Babs, and today I am hanging out with a woman, a legend, who needs no introduction. I mean, My Wife and My Kids, Martin, School Days, the list goes on. And now my girl is doing stand-up comedy, and she is here in Tampa, the Damn Gina Tour. Welcome to the bed, Tisha Campbell.
Oh my gosh. Why did I think that was really going to be a bed, though?
Man, oh my God. It feels so good to be sitting across from a legend.
Oh. Thank you.
And before we get the interview started, I really want to just say thank you, because not a lot of people at your stature, legendary status, come and show love to us small creators. What? Yeah, they don't. Like, you're a legit movie star, TV star, and you actually came to Tampa and you're sitting down with me. Usually, people go on big platforms, and this is, I feel like I'm getting there.
Saying.
Yeah, so why do you feel it's important to still come and sit down with people like us?
You know what? People like us, I feel like we're the same, first of all. But, that's why I started doing stand-up, is because I've always played a character. I've always had scripts written for me. And for the very first time since I used to do theater, I am in front of an audience and there's no screen between me and you. Yeah. There's no character or caricature that I'm playing. I'm really myself, and people get to know me for the very first time in my life. I'm completely unmasked.
Does it feel weird?
Yes,
yeah. It
feels uncomfortable, vulnerable, but happy at the same time. I've completely exposed here.
Yeah, man.
But coming here to you is just as important to me. You know what I mean? Recently, you know what? I saw something on TikTok, and
Love TikTok.
It was a video. Yeah, me too. And it was a video about creators and people in the media on a red carpet. And I was never conscious of this, but they get, their lighting person, they spend all this money, they get on a red carpet, they put most of you guys at the end of the carpet, and nobody ever goes at the end of the carpet. By the time they're done with the majors,
right,
they're exhausted or they have to get back. So I was like, oh my God, I never thought of it like that. So I know that I have to reach out and do better when it comes to, doing this kind of work. And I just feel like it's important. You guys are working your behinds off over here. It's not just her, guys. There's a camera crew. There's a director. There's a whole crew back here. So I wanted to make sure that I gave the time.
Oh, we appreciate that.
I'm
so
trying
much.
to do better, y'all, and get to the end of that red carpet, because you guys are just as important as the majors. That's how I feel. You know what I mean?
I love that. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Now, you just talked about how now you're unmasked. I got a question for you, because
Yes.
you've been playing characters since you were a child.
Yes.
Is it hard to know who you are Is it hard to not like be a character all the time? Like, did you know who you are when you finally like just unmasked yourself?
Well, that's taken a lot of therapy and a lot of practice, and I'm still practicing that. It's very interesting to unmask because all my life I hid behind my loudness and my jokes. That is my strategy at all times. When I'm super uncomfortable or super nervous, I tend to lean into that. So, yes, I didn't like, honestly, who I saw in front of me unmasked, because that person, me, I was so in a vulnerable state.
Right.
And you have to understand, like, all day long, people approach me.
Yes.
All day long. And, you know, Gina. And I love it, and it's fine. But sometimes it can be overwhelming when you have other things going on in your life and you still have to wear the mask. And because it's important when people first meet you. I always say this. There's a difference between being a celebrity and an artist, right?
What do you mean by that?
So a celebrity believes that they're here to be served. An artist understands they're here to serve others. So when people approach me, I know that I made that communication first with my work.
Right.
I said hi first. So it's very important to me to try my best to communicate and give people the experience that they deserve. Now, everything's not always, you know, the perfect situation. Like,
Right.
you know, I can't stand being approached in the bathroom. That really sucks.
Does that happen a lot?
Like, can I wash my hands?
Right.
You know, that is a very uncomfortable place for me. And then, or if I can't keep my eyes on my kids, they're older now, but that was, I would have to apologize. I'm sorry, I gotta, you know, pay attention to my kids. But it's a rarity that I don't try to at least engage as much as possible.
And she's not lying. You know, she just had an interaction with Nyjah, who is the daughter of one of our digital directors here. And just that experience you gave her, I'm pretty sure it's life-changing.
Well,
you
first
know,
of all, she's 8 and she's really cute.
Yes.
And smart.
Yes, very. She grew up watching my wife and my kids.
Yes.
And just everything you did right there, that meant so much to her and to all of us, too.
Oh,
So,
she's so sweet. Can we just show Nyjah?
come on, Nyjah.
We just need to see your pretty face really quick. And she's smart too, guys. Look how beautiful, right? Okay.
We love you, Nyjah. Now, you were just talking about how you had to go to therapy.
Yes.
Therapy is so taboo in the Black community. I think that even I need to go see someone.
Come on, girl.
But I'm like, does insurance cover it? Like,
Yes. Insurance does cover it nowadays. Better hurry up for somebody. Create a law that you can't go to therapy no more and get a third term. But no, I always leaned into the strong Black woman trope.
Meaning,
there's this thing that we do, you know, we have to be strong at all times. We can't show emotions. We have to keep persevering. And we're not allowed emotions. We're not allowed vulnerable moments. We're not allowed to cry. We're just keep it moving.
Right.
And I leaned into that. And that does not serve your nervous system well at all.
did you ever also feel like you can't let people down?
Yes.
I think
You
that's
are
a
me,
part of-
aren't you?
I think that's a part of the Black woman truth.
Yes.
Like you have to feel like you always have to be on.
All of everybody's everything.
Right.
And that is not okay for yourself. We have to be able to feel every single emotion.
Right.
Anger, sadness, joy, all of the things. And we aren't usually allowed that. And so I discovered the most amazing therapist. And Black male therapists are really hard to come by in that field. So are Latin. male therapist. I wanted a man. I wanted a male, and I wanted a African-American man who could understand without me having to over-explain.
Now, why did you want to go the man route?
I've been the woman route before, and I just wanted to try something new.
Okay.
Either is great, but this particular time, it was even more than just him being a African-American male. He was specific to trauma. And you have to find somebody who can understand your specific trauma and, you know, all the things that you have been through in your life. But there are some who specify in certain things.
Now, how many sessions did you have to go to before it was like a breakthrough?
Every single Friday. There's a breakthrough every Friday, and I'm a visual learner, so he understands that, and so he'll always bring out charts for me to see and understand. But it's life-changing. Sometimes it's very ugly to go through, but on the other side of that, there's so much freedom, and he often talks about practicing joy. Joy is a verb. It is not something that it just comes.
Right.
You have to work on it. And that's where I am right now.
I love it. That's why you're here in Tampa for the damn Gina tour.
I know I'm talking all deep and stuff, but it's actually funny, y'all.
I love that. I love that. Now, let's take it back to the beginning.
Okay.
Because you've, always been super talented. You grew up in Newark, New Jersey, right? You always could sing. You always could act. But what was that moment where your parents were like, okay, we gonna start driving her to auditions? Like, when did they know?
Okay, so there were two moments. The first was when I was 5 years old, and I wanted to win a color television. It was the second prize in a talent contest. We didn't have a television that worked, a color television that worked. And so my mom, I begged her. It was all adults. She was like, there's no kids in there. And I was like, please, 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 I want to win this television for us.
Right.
So I entered. I did not win. I won the first prize. I won the car.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was mad.
Why were you mad about a car?
Because I'm 5.
Oh, yeah, true.
And then they put these keys in my hand, and my brother was eating Cheetos, so I went to go kill him. And as he caught me right before I got to the edge of the stage, and he said, you want a car? And I looked down, and I see my mother crying. I see my father jumping up and down. I go, oh, yeah, we don't have a car either. Because I grew up in the projects. Most people don't know that because I play a lot of bougie roles. But, yeah, that was a turning point for us. And that, for me, was a turning point because I understood by my parents' reaction that I could help. And so that became the ongoing through line and theme of my entire career. I can help other people. I never went into this for the money or the fame, not for myself.
Right.
It was really to help my parents out of their circumstances. And then at 7 years old, there was this paper in New York called Backstage. And we would go through it, and they had auditions, like open cattle calls, they called them back then, cattle calls. Cattle calls are like American Idol auditions, where it's thousands and thousands and thousands of people online.
Yes.
And so we would stand in the winter snow outside online for hours, and I started booking.
That's lit.
Yeah. The very first thing I auditioned for, I booked.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know your parents were very proud of you. You became the golden child because I know they were like, this is our way out of the projects, okay? So were you able to, what was that first check like? Were you able to move your family into a nicer area?
Hell no.
Oh.
No, it wasn't that much back then.
Okay.
But it did allow me to be able to join the union and all of that stuff. So it took time to build,
right?
And by the time I did my first movie, which was at 16 years old, so Little Shop of Horrors was the first thing, because I was just doing a bunch of Broadway, and I was doing a lot of kid shows. But that was the first big movie that I did.
was the audition process, you feel, harder as a child or an adult for you?
You know, it's weird because it's my whole entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no, I didn't think of things like that. I only thought, let me do my best and see if I could get this job. You know, it was always a part of me, so I don't know the difference.
Now, do you still have to audition for roles? Because that's good.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Viola Davis, she had did an interview where she's like, I hate that I still have to audition.
Yeah.
They don't make Meryl Streep. So that's a blessing.
No,
So-
I don't for the most part.
Okay.
But I also create roles. So I have a production company called You Go Girl Productions.
Love it. Love it.
With my writing partner, Danny Wright. And we are writing a bunch of things, and we've sold a bunch of things. So we're creating jobs for people as well.
So if you're a person that doesn't have a SAG card and you do want to go into the, you know, TV, movie industry, where's the first place that you even start?
That is really hard because I did this back in the 70s.
Right.
When it cost only $500 to join the union. Now it's like $5,000 or something like that or more. So I'm not really sure. I think it's about that. But back then, you just had to get your first job, and then you can kind of, you know, pay the union once you get your first job. I don't know how it works now, guys, because we've been doing this for 54 years, so I'm kind of confused about it.
Now, fast forward, you know, to when you got the role on Martin as Gina.
Yeah.
Super iconic.
Thank you.
I saw somewhere where you were talking about the process, and I often talk with my other coworkers about how one little thing can change like the trajectory of your
my
life.
whole life.
So could you talk about that?
Yeah. So when I saw Martin we had done the house party,
Right.
and I saw him at the Boomerang premiere sitting next to Diana Ross. I was like, boy, you made it. He was sitting at the premiere, sitting next to her. And as I passed him, he says, Tish, I'm about to do a movie or a sitcom, one of the two. Whatever it is, I want you to play my wife or my girlfriend. I was like, okay, Martin, sure, all right. You know, because people promise a lot of things all the time, and you never see them, you know, come through.
Right.
And he did, but it just so happened that I had just done a pilot, and it had gotten picked up.
Okay.
And so my contract was just running out, and they had to renew the contract for that particular show. And so it was 7 out of 13. I had like 13 episodes. And he was like, okay, my show's starting. I'm doing a pilot. And it was not 7 out of 13. It was just a pilot.
Right.
And I was like, I'm so sorry, Martin. I just got something, and I'm not going to be able to do it. And he was like, nah, man, you got to do this, Tish. I was like, Martin, I really, really can't. And it just so happened that Tashina Arnold, who I've known since I was 11 and 12, was my roommate at the time. She had come out for pilot season. She was, you know, booking stuff, and she had happened to audition for the Martin show that day before. And so she said, I know that's your friend. Do not tell him that we are roommates and that we're best friends. I want to get stuff on my own. I don't believe in that nepotism stuff.
Okay.
I was like, Tashina, I do. She was like, do not do that. And I was like, fine. So when I said no to Martin, Martin called me and was like, I'm coming. Where do you and your mother live? Give me the address. I'm coming to talk to you right now. And I was like, Martin, that's not necessary. He's like, I'm coming right now. All right, fine. I gave him the address. Tashina opens the door and he goes, oh, what are you doing? I'll deal with you later. Now, we didn't know it at the time, but she had gotten the job.
Wow.
He didn't tell her that at the time. But he was like, let me just talk to Tisha, right? So he was like, what are you doing? You got to do this. Some kind of way he convinced me, and something inside of me, God told me, just, you got to do this. I know it's not the guaranteed 13 episodes. This is just a pilot. It's not even picked up. But I was like, okay, Martin, I'll do it. And that's how it happened.
Bam.
Yeah.
And do you think at that point is when you became a household name?
Yes, but we didn't look at it like that.
Right.
Because we were just there to make each other laugh and feed our families.
Right.
We didn't know, because we were filming, we didn't know the impact that it had. I'll tell you the first time, I never told this, the first time that I actually understood the impact that we were having, because there were a lot of euphemisms and slang that came from that show.
Yep.
A little something, something. He did that in the second episode.
You go, girl.
You go, girl.
Yeah.
What's up? All of that stuff. So, how you doing? All of that came from the Martin Show. And so the first time I felt the impact was when we did the episode of the doing a butt one.
Yep.
Where he does like this to my face and I do it back to him, and the hand to the face thing. And people started doing it in the street. I was like, somebody gonna get their hand chopped off. Like, do they understand this is just play? Like,
Right.
But then it never left. And people were doing it forever. So that was the first time we felt the impact.
Now, you don't watch your episodes. I think I've seen you say that. Do you watch any of your work?
I started watching The Martin Show because millennials, y'all always coming up to me quoting stuff. And I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So I had to start watching it and go, oh, that's a quote from, got it. But I started watching. I only watch myself if I have to. But since I was a little girl, doing Broadway, you just got to keep it moving, because there's always somebody better than you waiting in the wings, your understudy or what have you. You're only as good as your last job, so you don't look backwards.
And you don't want to get in your head. I don't watch any of my interviews.
Okay.
I don't either. I don't
Okay.
like to watch it because
Yeah.
I do think like you kind of get down on yourself and you over critique yourself.
Well, for sports players, they do it all the time. They watch
Right.
the playbacks and they learn from it. And there is something to learn from it, but what goes on in my head is, oh, I could have did this better. Oh, I could have said this joke. Oh, I could have ad-libbed this. So I'm constantly critiquing myself. So I'm like, it's better to just move forward. And if I catch something, it's cool.
Right.
But my kids don't watch my work.
Do they ever ask?
No.
Okay.
No, they don't ask at all.
I see you're doing a dating show with your kids.
Yes.
That's cool. That's so cool. You got to tell us about that show.
Okay, so it was created by my producing partner, Danny Wright.
Okay.
And she saw a need. My son really wants to be in love.
Oh, I
He
love
wants to
that.
date. My son is on the autistic spectrum. He's 24 years old. And she was like, and he auditioned for Love on the Spectrum, but didn't get it. And so we were like, we should just create something where he can meet different people, at least practice to date. So that's how that came about.
Yeah, we got to, Prime, we got to make sure we put a link to that in this episode where
That'd be
people
cool.
can tune into
Yes,
that.
please.
I mean, you're just so powerful, and now you're doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
No. How did that-
It was a mistake. I didn't mean to do it. So, okay. So D Nice,
Okay.
who is a DJ who became really famous over COVID when he was like saving the world with the music.
Yeah.
So D Nice had a residency at the Kennedy Center. And it was a 3-night stay. And I went to support him
Right.
and his fiance. And so I happened to be in town, but his host fell out. And for the comedy night, he was like, can you bring people up? And they were famous people. Sherry Shepherd, Michael Che,
Oh, yes.
Zaynab.
Yep.
It was really big people. Gina Yashere. And so I was like, yeah, I could bring people up. He was like, yeah, do 15 minutes before. And I was like, who you talking to? You know what I mean? So I went up there and I did it. There happened to be an agent in the, I just told stories. Now, let me back it up. I've worked with many a stand-up. I've always respected this genre. It's the hardest one out of all of the genres in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to stand up there because nobody's writing your material.
Nope.
You telling your business. And it's very, it's a very vulnerable but fun.
Right
thing
away
to do.
reactions, too.
Exactly. So you know if something works or something bombs. So I went up there. I did my 15. There happened to be an agent in the audience, and I've been on the road ever since.
I love it. And now she's here in Tampa at the Funny Bone all weekend, right?
Man, we're going to have a good time. Tampa, come on out, because I love to laugh. And you know what's different about my show is it becomes interactive at the end. So I do a Q&A after.
Oh, so they can ask you whatever.
They can ask.
I love that. And my girl is here sitting at Wild 94.1 in the bed with Babs talking to me. Now, I know during your stand-ups, you get into like a lot about your motherhood and stuff.
I do.
And shout out to all the single moms who,
And happy Mother's Day.
and happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day. Shout out to all the moms who raise kids who are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I know there's like ups and downs
There
with
are.
it. So what was that moment where you became okay with it and you're like, listen, we're going to treat him to be normal. We're going to teach him to be normal. He's going to go through
that's
life
really
doing
funny
normal
because
things.
a lot of people they watch my social media because we started posting after I saw, again, the level on the spectrum and how people were reacting to the people on the show, the cast members. And I was like, people are very open, they're kind. I was like, Zen, what do you think? Maybe we could do social media. We could help a lot of people. And so he decided yes. And so a lot of the comments that I get is, oh, you're a real mother. Oh, you're a real black mother. Like, I'm like, what else am I gonna be? But being the parent of an autistic person, I accepted the diagnosis right away. Right away. That doesn't mean I accepted a label. But my goal was to be as independent, get him as independent of me as possible. Zen was nonverbal till he was 7. Yeah. And so, but I could see something inside. And I talk a lot about this in a book because I just wrote a book about autism. So many people have come to me and was like, can you write a book? Can you write a book? And I was like, no, that's too much to relive. You know, and what you get out of this book, you know, if anybody sees themselves in these pages, I would be, you know, happy because it was some heartfelt moments. And of course, there are funny, I can't help myself. It's me, guys.
Right.
It's me. It's wit and humor, all wrapped into all of the heartfelt moments as well. The book is called The A Word, and you guys, it's on pre-order and on Amazon right now. It is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done in my life, and I really believe that I can help a lot of people just by telling my story, my real story. This is a whole different Tisha Campbell than you guys are normally get to see. Even in stand-up, you know.
Unmasked, baby.
Unmasked, baby.
You know, you've encouraged me. I do need to go to therapy.
Come
too,
on,
as
join
well.
us.
I don't know why. It's just, like I said, it's so taboo in the Black community.
It is, but we all need the help and we need the support and we need to do it differently than our parents did it or our grandparents did it. We weren't allowed the time or the space to feel the vulnerability or to tap into the past or to change generational curses. We weren't able to do that. All we could do is survive and keep it moving. And that's not what we doing these days. I want to be the poster child for self-help. You know what I mean?
I love that. And
Yeah.
I can tell you're an empath, you know, and
I
that's why
am.
girls gravitate towards you in Hollywood, you know,
Yeah.
Sherry Shepherd, Gabrielle Unions.
those
How
are girls.
important is building a sisterhood in Hollywood, especially amongst Black girls? Because I feel like they pit us against each other.
Well, you know, I think we pit ourselves against each other. But that was never my walk.
Okay.
When I met Tashina Arnold at 11, she was 11, I was 12. She always makes me say that because she wants everybody to know I'm older than her by 1 year. When I met her, we met competing against each other at an audition. That's where I met her. But we never competed against each other.
I
If
like
that makes sense.
It does.
Because I've always been somebody who's like, well, if it's meant for me, it's meant for me. God would give it to me. But if it's not, I hope my girl gets it. And every time she did win something over me, I was cheering. I was like, yes, you got it, yes. Because that means we got it.
Right.
So I've always been the type of person who would try to show people support and that we don't have to, like, you can go in there head hunting into an audition because you're going to try to get the job. Yes, but you can be nice about it. You don't have to be unkind to not a soul, and you can do this with integrity as well.
A lot of people use the girl term so loosely, but I think the definition that you just gave, that was the good term of the right term for being a girl's girl.
I mean, we can still support one another, even though we may be in the same field. But you can cheer your sister on.
I love that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shamara and Meredith who work here.
That's your girls.
Yeah, those my girls.
No, I love it.
Now, I got to ask you this. If you had to give a Mount Rushmore of all the work you've ever done, the top 4 things that you have done, what would it be? And you only get 4.
Okay. That's hard. It just so happens that a lot of the work that I just auditioned for, I didn't pick it, turned out to affect the culture in one way or another, whether it was House Party, because that was the first time you saw young black kids just partying and having a good time with one another on screen.
Just existing
and having a good time. That's it.
How long did you have to practice, by the way, for that dance scene?
Oh, that was easy.
Okay.
AJ Johnson, she is who played Shireen. She was the choreographer for our stuff. We did it real quick.
Did you have to audition for that one?
We did.
Oh, wow.
We had to audition for that. But it's funny because we were practicing together. We knew we both had the audition. We were practicing and we were ad-libbing and we were adding stuff. And I was like, listen, make sure your agent has you get there at the same time I'm getting there. Mine is at 1 o'clock. Make yours at 1 o'clock. I know they're putting people together in the room. So when we got there, they had put us with 2 other women. And they're really famous women too. And so, but we knew they were friends. And I said, hey, they're gonna put us together, but why don't y'all go in and then we can go in? They was like, bet. They were happy about it. And so, yeah, we went in together and we auditioned. But my top 4, going back to Mount Rushmore, would probably be something you've never seen called Uncoupled.
And where can we watch that?
That's on Showtime, and it was a series that I did with Neil Patrick Harris.
Ooh, okay.
It was written by the same person who created Sex and the City. And it's a male gay Sex and the City.
I like that.
And the writing is fantastic.
Okay.
I've never played this kind of character before, so it's one of the more favorite things that I've done. Then there would be Little Shop of Horrors.
Because that was your first
Because it was my first big movie. And then Martin and Wife and Kids in no order.
Right. Yeah. Wayans. Damon Wayans. It must have been crazy going on set with him every day. I bet you laughed nonstop with that man.
I did. You know what? I mostly remember him for the atmosphere that he created on the show. He made the most family-oriented. All of his family worked on the show, too. I might as well call myself Tisha Campbell Wayans because I love them so much. Every single person, even the second generation, they're all talented. And I'm very proud to have been able to work with Damon because he's a powerhouse of a comedian. Powerhouse.
And one thing about the brothers, they stand in the paint for black women.
Yes.
I remember I was doing a radio show with some other guys, and one of the co-hosts had made a joke about me, and Sean was like, nah, we ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I noticed that they stand in the paint. Yeah.
No, they do. They really are a beautiful family, and I'm just lucky to have been able to work with them.
I love that. So Uncoupled,
Yes.
Little Shop of Horrors,
Yeah,
My Wife and My Kids, and Martin.
Yes.
And now my girl is doing
Stand
stand-up. Tell us a little bit about the stand-up. You know, we got people here in Tampa that's going to come out this weekend.
Yo, we have so much fun on that stage. I've been all over the country. I just left St. Louis, Detroit. I've done Seattle. I've been all over. And people have really embraced me. And I have some amazing, like Finesse Mitchell is going to be doing it with me out here. He is my mentor in this game. But we have fun. And my goal every single time is to make you forget your problems for a good hour and a half, 2 hours.
I love that.
And it's fun. We have fun.
And
So-
then there's a Q&A. You get to ask the
and then
legendary.
you get to ask me some stuff about me.
I love that. Now,
Yeah.
in closing, I want to ask you this. Is it ever too late to reinvent yourself?
No. I do it all the time. Every day I go on day. I reinvent myself and reinvent myself. I think it's really important for you to do that because as the world changes, as time shifts, so does this business. And you have to lean into certain things. Like nowadays, they don't do in-person auditions as much anymore. That you have to do like self-tapes. Or nowadays with social media or AI, don't lean away from it. You got to lean into it because things have changed. So you have to reinvent yourself. And what people mostly don't realize is that an actor's career life span is usually only about 5 years. So for me to be here talking to you
Still going.
for 54 years, like that's a real blessing. But you also have to understand that other side, that usually people get a good 5 years. It's sort of like, the best way to describe it is like a football player's career or a basketball player's career. Some people will do 2 year stints, but it won't last any longer than that. Or have a sophomore, they used to have albums, they don't have albums no more. But back in the day, you know what I'm saying? So there, if you understand that, then you can navigate around it. And that's what I've done.
You Hollywood, but you not Hollywood.
Nah, I live in Hollywood, but I'm not Hollyweird.
Yes. And you know what's crazy? I feel like it's always been Hollyweird, but now it's just all being exposed for real.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it took so long for like
us
regular folks? Yeah,
everybody got a phone and a camera.
Yep.
And that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? It'll balance out and keep the integrity for people, real artists who want to help, who want to change mindsets, who want to make people laugh, think about or not think about their problems, or cry, or affect them in some type of way. Artists have always done that since Shakespeare, since the Harlem Renaissance. We've always been right there at the center of everything. And if you understand that what an artist's job really is to serve, is in servitude, then it becomes fulfilling. So everything that I do is very thought out, very strategic, and for the culture.
I love that. A mother, a pioneer. Happy early Mother's Day,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
I'm gonna take that because I work hard.
Now, what does motherhood mean to you in honor of Mother's Day?
I wish I could have brought the letter that my son sent me. He sent me an envelope. He said, "Do not open until you're on the plane." And I opened it while I was in the airport. I'm not gonna lie. I opened it. I was nosy. And there are 3 letters, and I opened one of them. And the letter talked about our relationship as a mother and son, and how he just loves how we are together, how much he feels that I've done for us and as a family. And I was just so blown away by that. It was so touching. And so it put everything in perspective. I survive what I survive because of them, because of Zen and Zeke. My motivation for everything I do, even making people laugh, is for my children, so that they could look up at me and say, my mama had tenacity. My mama persevered. My mama's a good mama. And so, that's it.
No, I love that. And I know you definitely hard on the girls that be trying to talk to them. Do you vet the girls out?
No.
Okay.
Well, yes. I don't know. You know what Zen said?
What did he say?
I'm gonna tell this on stage. I'm gonna have to tell this on stage.
Oh man. Okay. She goes.
Nah, cause Zen said he want to be a virgin until he's 20 something. Till he's married.
You don't like that?
I don't know. I don't want no weirdos in my house. I mean, God bless him. He was like, "You supposed to be proud of me." Mommy's always proud of you.
Right.
But let's sit down and watch this really great movie called 40-Year-Old Virgin. He was like, "Is that supposed to be me?" I was like, "You do have a lot of toys, son. Those are not toys, those are collectibles." I was just saying, I don't want no weirdos in my house. Nah, but no, we have a lot of fun and we laugh a lot. So,
well, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
This is like the highlight. I'm about to cry again. This is like the highlight of my year. I had a women's brunch where I said I was manifesting my 2026, and I feel like so many good things have came into fruition.
Because you made a choice, mama. And the choice is also, I don't mean to be so gaudy.
No, you're good.
But you brought that energy in. You did that. You were the person who says, I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to have a different career movement. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have a different life movements. And God is blessing you because you brought that energy. You brought me here. It's not a choice for you. Brought this energy together. So, congratulations, bitch.
Thank you.
Yes. Work.
A legend, a mother, a pioneer, now a comedian. She will be at the Funny Bone all weekend for the Damn Gina tour. Thank you so much, Tisha Campbell, for stopping by.